What's going on, everybody? So bringing you to another episode of the 72 volt modded MotoTec. And in this one, as you can see in my last video, we went racing, indoor racing at Great Lakes Supermoto out in Clio. And the motor was getting hot. I'll actually post one of the clips. You can hear my temperature sensor alarm beeping at me. Telling me, hey, you're getting warm here, buddy. Yeah, well, we got warm and went out last weekend, popped the motor. Motor would not go, would not spin. We're getting no function out of the motor right now. Didn't really get a great chance to look over the bike while I was there. So I'm going to go ahead, pop all the panels off, get down to my wiring harness here, start taking a good look at things. I already went ahead and ordered the ETM 2.0 motor from Electro & Co. It's supposed to be a drop-in replacement. I wanted something simple. This was the stock motor and it ran for, I think I have 500-600 miles on the odometer. So with me pushing it the way that it ran for a long time. When I get this ETM 2.0 motor, I'm going to run at the same settings that I ran this. So I know I'm only going to be running maybe a third of its potential. And I really shouldn't run too much trouble as far as overvolting or heat or anything like that. So without further ado, let's go ahead, get this cracked open, take a look at this harness, see if we can see what went wrong. When you do nice work the first time, it makes repairs very easy. I've already got the motor out. I cracked the back casing open and I bypassed. So I had this little junction block going on here that went from the controller to the motor, and it just kind of kept wires out of the way because the phase wires on the stock motor weren't long enough to connect from where the stock motor position sat all the way over to the speed controller. So I had this jumper box kind of in there, and when I cracked it open, I had noticed that one of the phase wires was burnt pretty bad. It's actually the green one. You can see it in there. So I've got the motor wired directly to the controller now, and still we're getting like a clicking motion. So I did make changes in the settings trying to figure this out. I'm going to pull up my phone real quick, connect to the controller, and just make sure that all my settings and my tune are correct, and then go from there. But not looking good so far. Motor does not want to spin. Alright, and just like that, made a couple of changes to the settings. And we've got movement back in the motor. I have a feeling there's still something wrong. Because I didn't do anything. I mean, all I did was take out this junction block, but that could that have been the issue? It could have, but I'm not 100% convinced that this was the problem. I'm gonna go ahead, clean out all the grease and stuff out of the chain area, chain tensioner and stuff, get that all cleaned up. I don't know if I want to mount this back in yet. I think I want to cut apart this loom, change how these wires run on here, clean up the motor a little bit more. I don't know if I want to put it back on. I think I'm just going to leave the bike bare, waiting for the ETM 2.0 motor to come in and go from there. If this works, I have a backup motor I could always bring with me or throw in another project. But in the meantime, I don't know. I don't really want to put it back in because I'm not 100% convinced I did anything. So yeah, let's go ahead, pull this out, get this loom off here, double check these phase wires, make sure that everything's good there. But let's see what the graph is saying when it's doing all of this. Alright, it's spinning. Alright, I'm not 100% sure how the inside of these motors are supposed to look, but I am sure that loose zip ties are not supposed to be in there. So it looked like the zip ties that were holding some of the aluminum together, it came apart. They was kind of rusting all loose, jammed in there. I pulled majority of them out. So I think I'm going to try to add some zip ties back somehow. Even some of the wires are like toasted apart. So yeah, I'm gonna try to add some zip ties back, seal this back up, loom this how I want to loom it, and we'll go from there. Motor is working as of right now, so hopefully adding these zip ties doesn't mess anything up. What's going on, y'all? So it's been about a week since that last clip. Moscow, Bruno, Bandit. This guy's about to be a big old Great Dane right now. He's just a couple months old. Anyways, blew the motor, fixed the motor for the stock 48 volt MotoTec, and while I was fixing it, I went ahead and ordered the ETM 2.0 brushless, and we're gonna go ahead and get that thrown in the bike now. Like I said in one of the clips before, I wasn't sure if I was gonna put the stock motor back in after getting everything out. Thinking about it, it's not worth it. I'll save that for another project, something that I don't want to have ready all the time. This bike, I need ready all the time. Let's go. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead. I'm not going to show you guys because you can find a million videos on YouTube of people throwing these motors in all different kinds of bikes. I'm going to go ahead, get it in. I'll catch up with you guys when it's in. Alright, so we've got the motor in. That was easy. 3 bolts, medium strength Loctite, and the 5mm Allen. Yep. Boom. In. Phase wires are running towards the controller, which I have mounted up here. Kind of sticking out the front like a radiator. Looks kind of sick. But phase wires, I got to change this connector to match the connector that I had put on the electro-inco harness, which would be this 6-pin connector right here. Got my connectors, solder, crimper, and just like that, got the 6-pin connector on there to match the connector that I had put onto my far driver harness. Got it all pinned in, locked in, yellow stoppers at the bottom with some super glue at the top for some extra strength and water protection. Now I'm going to go ahead, figure out how I'm going to run my phase wires to my controller so they don't interfere with me getting the battery in and out. Plug up my hull and start the auto learn. Got the ETM 2.0 motor in. Wires are routed gorgeously all throughout the chassis here. Going to the 72-300 fire driver, powered by the Momentum Watts 72 volt 20 amp hour 100 amp battery. We are back, boys. This video, blew up the motor one week, fixed it the next week, put the ETM motor in the next week, or the following week after that. January 11th, got another indoor event, Great Lakes Supermoto out in Clio. So we ready to rip. See you there.